Hi, Michael, Cody, and Kyle. Here's the video I promised that kind of goes over what we covered in class today. So it's going to be quick and brief, and you may have questions, and if so, email me or check with your fellow classmates. So read the syllabus that's on the Moodle site. Also, the assignment sheet is pretty detailed in terms of what is due each week. Moodle also will tell you can look over here on the right hand side and it has upcoming events, and also you can click on the calendar to see, oh, maybe I didn't add the calendar on this one. No calendar, but you can check here for upcoming events, and I'll probably add the calendar soon. So a couple things you need to know. The sign up for chapter presentations. Students did sign up to present one of the chapters in our textbook, and so next week on Friday when you come, we'll have you add your names to the groups that are presenting later in the term. So you won't get as much choice in that, but I will give you some choice. The literature circles, at this point I'm just going to assign you to a lit circle and give you a role so you can do that for the assignment for next week. So read this document on lit circles. It tells you what your responsibilities are depending on your role. And so you're going to do some reading. You're going to, according to your role, take notes, and then you're going to come next week ready to discuss that in your group. So Michael, your role for next week is going to be a connector. Cody, you're going to be an illustrator, and Kyle, you're also going to be a connector. So look up the role for those in this document, and then for the reading, it is actually under the resources for week 1. So here's the reading materials. There's 3 textbook chapters that you're going to take a look at. You're just going to skim these. That's why you've been assigned a role. So for instance, if you're the connector, you're going to go through and find ways that you can connect with some of the material, and then take some notes. I won't collect the notes. You're not going to be required to turn those in. So just bring them to class so you're prepared and able to discuss the reading with your classmates in your lit circle. So that's one assignment for next week. You'll notice that our Moodle page is set up with, so up front, and you'll see some things on mine that you won't see on yours that are hidden. But at the top are some things that kind of apply to the whole term, and then the next section has all the assignments that you'll be doing in my class. You'll be submitting on Moodle for the most part, and so this is where you'll find those under the assignment submissions. So this is where you upload them. This is also where I'll include a weekly to-do list. So this will tell you what exactly you have due and what you need to work on for the week. So if we take a look at that, you'll see that there's a couple of assignments that I've already mentioned. As that opens, I want to point. So this is where you'll submit assignments, and then the resources you need for the assignments are down here week by week. So so you'll see things that we covered in class. Like I did a presentation, a mock presentation today, modeled that for students of the first Jensen chapter out of your textbook. And so you can see examples of those. You can also get resources for your assignment on unpacking or unwrapping the standards. So let's look at what are your assignments for this week. So the first one is you need to talk with your clinical teacher, mentor teacher, and find out what will be the content that you'll be covering during week 8, which is the week starting February 25th. This is when you'll be at the school full-time for the whole week, and you'll be teaching your unit. So you're going to be planning a 3 to 5 lesson unit. So by next week, I want you to hopefully, as best you can, identify what content area and maybe even a standard that you'll be covering during that week. It's really important. It'll make a big difference in how difficult this pre-planning goes, is if you can nail that down ahead of time. Otherwise, you're going to have to revise as you go, which is okay too. So bring that to class next week. Next thing is you're going to complete the Unwrapping the Standards assignment. That is the one that is posted under week 1 at the top, Unwrapping Standards. So you're going to actually use this template right here to actually complete that assignment. You'll need to write this down. So everybody's doing the same standard for this week. So everybody is doing 9. This is a Common Core Language Arts standard. So you're going to do standard 9-10.RL.1, and I'll show you how to find that when I get to this. So this is the template you're going to be using. We'll look at that in a second. So to access the standard, I've put some resources under week 1 down here. So these are all links to the standards and various helpful resources for that. So I'm actually going to go to the searchable standard. I don't think I have those here. So I'm going to go to the Wiki Teacher Unwrap Standards for Common Core. So this will have the English Language Arts, and if you're going to use this resource, you do actually have to create an account, although it's free. Wiki Teacher does have some information that's helpful, I think, to all teachers, although this portion focuses mainly on the English Language Arts and Math standards. So let's look at the template while I'm waiting for that. Sometimes that website's a little quirky. So here's where you're going to copy and paste your standard. You're going to actually then unpack it. You should have done this at a previous assignment in Ed 373 or your pre-assessment class. So if you've already done that, that will be helpful. It's down here. Sorry, I missed that. So here on Wiki Teacher is where you find the Unwrap Standards, and we're going to go to oh my goodness, I'm not sure why I can't see the 9th grade. For some reason it's limiting me to 7th as the highest grade level. Let's see if I can maybe, yeah, it's not letting me. That's weird. Well, then that's not going to be a good resource for me at this time. So, so let's skip that one and we'll go back to, let's see if we can go to a different resource to at least get a copy of the standard. So sorry about that. So I'm not going to go into depth about how to do that because I covered it pretty thoroughly in our class today. So this might be one that you want to actually ask classmates about or work with a partner in the class to try to figure it out. But here's the deal. So you're going to submit a draft of this on Thursday at midnight on Moodle up here under the assignments. And then we'll talk a little more about it once you've had a chance to kind of work on it in class. And then when we get to the lab, which we go to the lab the last hour, then I'll give you an opportunity to talk with your peers, revise, and then resubmit for a final draft, which I won't grade these until you've submitted your final draft. So no worries if you get stuck or run into issues. The reading that you're going to be doing is all about, in this folder, is all about standards and how to unpack them. So that will be a good resource for you. And use that to answer questions as well. Okay, so going back to the to-do list, your other, oh, there might be a blip in there. So your other assignments is you have a discussion forum that is also under the week 1 assignments about classroom community. So we did some classroom building, community building activities in class today. And so including those and other ones that you've experienced either in your clinical setting or when you're volunteering or as a student, talk about your experience with community building activities and what makes you feel valued as a member. So both of those 2 assignments are due Thursday night at midnight. And so that I think you can figure out. You're not going to be doing the chapter 2 presentation, so don't worry about that one. And then the last thing is make sure you are prepared for your literacy circle. So that's kind of a really quick, brief overview. I know you're probably going to feel a little behind, but I think after next week, you will feel like we have come together in the same place. So, and feel free, my office hours are Wednesday from 11 to 1 and Friday after class. So you want to come in Wednesday and just check in, I'm available. I'm also there a lot of the other times during the week, but that's probably the time you'll be there and available. So email me if you have any questions, and I look forward to having you in class next week.